vibe, cause we good over here. This droid can't be destroyed, I'm immune to despair. Now I'm setting my intentions, I learned from all my lessons. Took a minute to get the message, but it's finally clear. You've been hating all day and hating all night, worrying and whining, both waste your life. But if you take your time and focus on what's right, you will.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? We're back at it for another video on today. This is Raw Detroit. Make sure you guys hit that subscription button, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell, and hit the word all so that you receive every notification that comes from this channel. And without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to talk about adding the talent of a DK Metcalf to this Detroit Lions roster. Now, we're not saying that the Lions are going to go out and get DK Metcalf. It's just a little bit of wishful thinking and just saying, man, what if the Lions were able to trade for DK Metcalf and bring him on this roster, man, we would have one of the most prolific offenses in all of the National Football League. And we already know that we got one of the top offenses in the league right now without DK Metcalf. So imagine adding him to this roster. DK Metcalf is one of the more physical specimens of receivers in all of the National Football League. He is a bully when it comes to blocking. And DK Metcalf is a freak of an athlete, man. Standing at 6'4", pretty much runs a 4.3. So imagine DK Metcalf and J-Mo taking the top off defenses every week. That would be crazy, man, because you got Amon-Ra pretty much, him and Sam Laporta operating through the middle. And then on the outside, you got DK Metcalf and J-Mo on the other side tearing it up. Now, we know that DK Metcalf is pretty good when it comes to making big plays down the field, and he could take the type of speed that DK Metcalf got, man. He's fast just like J-Mo is, and he could take a little hitch, or he could take a little slant, or he could take a dig, or whatever it may be, to the house. DK Metcalf is that type of dude, man. And definitely, man, he is still a freak of an athlete, man. And I'm sure a lot of teams would love to have DK Metcalf be a part of their roster going forth. A lot of teams would love to have DK Metcalf. And definitely, man, if the Detroit Lions were to add DK Metcalf to the roster, I think that it would be crazy. You know, I think that the Lions are ultimately, at the end of the day, they're probably going to bring back Tim Patrick, which I don't got a problem with. Tim Patrick played well for us. He did good out there. He doesn't have the speed that DK Metcalf, and he's not the physical receiver like DK Metcalf, but Tim Patrick was pretty good in his role with the Lions, and he played pretty well, man. But having a guy like DK Metcalf, man, his ability to be able to block, his ability to be able to stretch the field would be insane. It would be insane for the Detroit Lions. And if Brad Holmes was to get on the horn and say, hey, look, I'm willing to give you guys a third or fifth, whatever, to get DK Metcalf off your hands, hey, I'm willing to do whatever. I'm willing to make a trade. I give you a third and blah, 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 whatever. You know what I'm saying? Trade you somebody off this team. Trade you, I don't know, trade you Zadarius Smith. I don't know. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just wishful thinking. But definitely, man, to add a talent like him, man, would be tremendous. The trajectory of the team would go through the roof. And DK, man, one thing I can say, man, this dude still can take the top off the defense. Still a young guy, not that old, DK Metcalf. And he still is a dangerous playmaker. So adding another playmaker to make the offense even better in 2025 would be a great thing for the Detroit Lions, because you want to come in next season even better than what you were this year. And the Lions had a phenomenal season. They broke the franchise record by winning 15 games. Nobody saw that coming, but we also didn't see coming getting smacked around in the first round of the playoffs. So you always got to be able to kind of tweak your offense and kind of be able to bring other players in that's going to be able to help you get to the next level, propel this team to get to the next level. And I think that a guy like DK Metcalf would be able to help this Detroit Lions team go in the direction that it wants to go. So getting DK Metcalf on this team, man, I'm with it. If Brad Holmes is able to make a call and Seattle is saying, like, we're willing to trade DK Metcalf because we pretty much we're gonna roll with Tyler Lockett and we're gonna roll with Smith and Jigba, you know, and we're willing to let DK walk. Man, you know how many people gonna be calling and beating down the door of Seattle just to get DK Metcalf? on how special this guy is, freak of an athlete this guy is, how special DK Metcalf could be for anybody's team, how he'll upgrade your team. The dude is strong, freak of an athlete. And, man, if I'm Brad Holmes, man, I make the call, man. If they're willing to trade him, I will be looking to see what they're interested in getting for DK Metcalf, because I don't know what the asking price is going to be for him. Maybe somebody may give them a second-round pick. Maybe they give him a late first-rounder. I don't know. But I would love to have DK Metcalf on this team, because I know that ultimately at the end of the day, it's all about getting better. It's all about getting better. And he's one of those guys that he doesn't have to have the ball 90 times. He don't have to have 90 receptions on the season. DK Metcalf can get like 50 balls and go over 1,000 yards. That's just how good he is in stretching the field. So I'm telling you, man, he will be phenomenal in Detroit, man. That's something that Brad Holmes should consider. That's something that he should think about. And adding a guy like DK Metcalf is only going to make you better. I know the goal of this team and this roster is to be able to get the defense better in 2025, and rightfully so, because the schedule is going to be tough for the Detroit Lions coming into this season. I think the Lions got one of the hardest schedules coming into this season. So adding a DK Metcalf and possibly drafting a pass rushing guy, I think that would be the right way to go. No, I'm not saying that that's what the Lions are going to do, but I wish they would make a move like this, because it's only going to make them better. Because what all the teams that you got to play this season, a lot of these teams made the playoffs, so you got to be ready for that, man. So I'm sure that Brad Holmes is going to do his homework, and it's going to be a lot of teams that's going to be, if Seattle Seahawks are deciding to part ways with DK Metcalf, then it's going to be a lot of people coming over there to knock down their door, because DK Metcalf is a very talented wide receiver. He is a Pro Bowl type wide receiver. And then coming to the Detroit Lions, he doesn't have to be the first option or anything like that, because you already got Amon-Ra St. Brown. But you'll just be adding to the team and getting the team better. And him and J-Mo taking the top off the defense every week, man, it would be crazy. They kind of, and actually if you really look at it, in actuality, DK Metcalf is the type of other receiver that they really need. A guy that's physical, a guy that can stretch the field, a guy that can make plays as well. This is what they need in the Detroit Lions locker room. So, man, I wouldn't be surprised, man, if Brad made a call to Seattle and said, hey, man, look, I'm willing to give you such and such if you give us DK Metcalf. Because at the end of the day, man, if Seattle is willing to trade this guy, somebody's going to come beating on the door and knocking on the door, especially. And can you imagine him going to the Green Bay Packers and playing with Jordan Love, or going to the Minnesota Vikings and playing with that Vikings team, or even going to the Chicago Bears, or going to the Commanders? These are teams that could be looking at getting a guy like DK Metcalf. Imagine DK Metcalf being on the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. That would be nuts. Him and Scary Terry, that would be nuts. You put him on the Minnesota Vikings with one of the best receivers in the league in Justin Jefferson. That would be nuts. That would be crazy. You put him on the Detroit Lions with Amon-Ra St. Brown and J-Mo and Sam Laporta, and that would be nuts. That would be crazy. So, man, I can't wait to see, man, how this free agency is going to go. I can't wait to see what Brad Holmes is ultimately going to do at the end of the day. And it's just some just some food for thought, just thinking about what if the Lions decided to spin the block on DK Metcalf and grab DK Metcalf and let him be a part of this team. I just think that the team would really, really take off. Now, we know that we're not shooting to have the best offense in the league or nothing of that nature. We just want to be a team that's going to be consistent, and we want to be a contender. We know that having the best record in the league doesn't mean anything. You can have the best offense like we had this past season, and it doesn't mean a thing. When you get into the playoffs, everybody is 0-0. But you do need the talent this year. You do need the talent, because you know how hard the schedule is going to be, and you realize that you're going to have to be even better this up and coming season. And I'm not talking about better with wins. You just got to be overall better. You got to be better on the defensive side of the ball. You got to go out there and find some pass rushing guys that can get to the quarterback and put pressure on the quarterback and cause havoc on Sundays. And then you also need to be able to add another receiver to this lineup. So if they decide to bring back Tim Patrick, I'm cool with it. I got no problem with that at all. If that's what the Lions want to do, bring back Tim Patrick, I'm fine with that. Tim Patrick was balling. He had a phenomenal season. But, man, a lot of people will be scratching their heads, man, if we walked away with DK Metcalf, because DK Metcalf is a perfect fit with this Detroit Lions team. He is a perfect fit. Perfect. Number one, he can stretch the field. Number two, he'll be good in the run game because he's a very good blocker. And he's a bully when it comes to blocking. And that'll really help guys like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs to really take off. Adding a guy like DK Metcalf means for the Detroit Lions that this team would even take off even more in 2025. So, man, I would love to see the Lions make a move like this, even though I know it's just wishful thinking and just saying, man, what if the Lions were able to go out and get a deal and make it happen and bring DK Metcalf to the Lions? It would be crazy, man. A lot of teams would be definitely fearful of this team because we would have two guys that you would have to respect. You're going to have to respect J-Mo and his speed. Then you got to respect DK Metcalf and how fast he is, because he's one of the fastest guys in the league as well. And DK Metcalf is faster than a lot of receivers that's in the league. So imagine that, man. Imagine that, pulling up and coming to the games and seeing DK Metcalf in a Detroit Lions uniform. That would be crazy, man. I always thought that DK Metcalf was a very talented player, man. And I know that it's going to be a lot of teams if the Seattle Seahawks is willing to get rid of him via trade or whatever. It's going to be a lot of teams coming knocking on that door. So, man, Brad, get on the phone, man. Do what you got to do, man. Get this team better. We definitely need the pass rush. We definitely got to get the defense better next season. And not only that, we also got to be able to make sure that we tweak the offense a little bit and still be one of the most scariest offenses in all of the National Football League. All right, guys, this is Raw Detroit, and I'll be back to you soon with another video. Peace.